Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 6 of the Leetcode Day Challenge. Hit the like button, subscribe, and join my Discord. Let me know what you think about today's poem. 920 number of music playlist, music playlist. Alright, your music player contains n different songs. You want to listen to go songs, not necessarily distinct or necessarily different during your trip. To avoid boredom, you will create a playlist so that every song is played at least once. A song can be played again if only K other songs have been played. And then there's a mod thing, so okay. Let's do mod. Oops. Mod. Okay, so yeah, okay. So this is a combinatorial problem, obviously. So let's see. And of course, with that, it's going to be DP, but it doesn't seem like, I mean, or, I don't know, for me, these DPs are sometimes kind of tricky. N is, and Go and all these other things only up to 100, so that makes it, I mean, that we don't have to be, I mean, it's still going to be tricky. But, okay. So let's see, right? How are we thinking about this? So, I mean, let's see. Do we do? Man, I just woke up, so so it's a little bit sloppy. Okay, so what's the N again? There's N different songs, and Go is the number of total songs, and K is the repeating thing. Okay, so let's say we have something like this. How are we counting this? So let's say there is I'm gonna call everything index, but that's just like a really thing. But song index, and then maybe left, maybe that's the dimension. And here, of course, we want to define this. To be honest, I'm still just thinking it through. Okay, so we have songs left. Okay, that's terrible. Songs to pick from, and we have left number of songs to put on the playlist, right? Something like this. And the idea, I think the tricky thing is that, and some of this I think I vaguely remember something about this problem or something similar to this problem. That's why I'm trying to be a little bit more careful. Is that I think the naive brute force way is just for every song, like okay, for the first song on the playlist rather, for the first song on the playlist. You know, like start with one on the first one, and start with two, and then three, and then so forth, and then and try like okay, for one, we well, look at K, and it means that it cannot be 1 1, but it could be 1 2 1 3, and then and then get kind of generation, right? But that part is tricky because then now you have to remember state. And what I mean by that is that the thing about this kind of dynamic programming and memorization in general is that you're trying to, well, the core idea of it is that given a certain set of inputs, things are memoryless, right? And stateless, or stateless the right word? But memoryless, right? Meaning that, everything you have, or everything you want to know about a subproblem is already given to you by the input, right? Like the input uniquely defines a situation. And here, if you have to know the last K songs, that is not very tenable, right? Because K could be 100, then you have to like have an array of 100, and then that state is like n to the k or something ridiculous. But it gets exponential in terms of the possibilities of last k song. So we have to think about another way to think about it. And for me, for me, I think the only the only two dimensions other than k, if you want to call that. I don't even know if k is a dimension, but the only two other thing, right, which is the end part, the number of songs, and so we have to try to think about, maybe do one song at a time, right? Like instead of thinking about, each slot on the playlist, instead of thinking for a playlist each slot at a time, we think about all the numbers at a time, right? I don't know. Right now I still don't have the full definition yet, to be honest. Just to be clear, like I'm not trying to. I'm still kind of working it out in my head. But basically, let's say you have 5 songs. Let's say go is equal to 5, and n is equal to, say, also. Yeah, let's say go is 15 and then n is 5, right? Then we want to say, okay, where do we put all the ones? It could be here, and then we just kind of skip and something like that. So, right, maybe not that, but and factor given k. So we have to figure out. I think that's the way that I would think about approaching it, but I have to figure it's not easy. The key thing to know is that every song has to be picked once, so that's a thing. Oh, this one's hard. So, let me think about this for a second. Do. So basically, the there are a couple of ways to think about this. That's why I'm trying to think which one way makes more sense combinatorically. We definitely want to do this kind of thing, but then the thing I'm thinking about is, do we pick the first number, or do we get to pick skipping, and is that easy? Meaning that here we choose the first number as a 1, or is it mix, and then we brute force enumerate all the whatever, all the first numbers, or does it make more sense to kind of skip to like like where the first number is undefined necessarily, and then do it this way, right? And it's not immediately clear to me which way is easier without double counting and all this other stuff. So yeah. So but maybe I don't know. Okay. Maybe I think I'm going to do it this way, where I enumerate the first part, because then now we force. Because the reason why it's this way is hard to enforce that every song has to pick once. At least in my current frame of mind, and I don't know that that's true, but so we'll do something like this. So then now we have to brute force the first song. Because then now. Sorry, friends. I usually do these live, or I always do these live, as you can see. But I'm trying to think about this one, because this one is, yeah. So And if you're watching at home, definitely feel free to fast forward or whatever you need to do to, you know, efficiently use your time. But right now, I'm thinking through it, and maybe I should been. I just woke up, so maybe I should warmed up my brain a little bit first. Didn't expect a hard problem, but okay. What does that look like when we move forward the first one, right? I mean, that would look like something like this, right? Something like, okay, so we have total 0 0. That's how we restructure it generally. And then we maybe have something like total, but then what is this other part? Okay, so then, well, we have to choose the thing where this the current iteration is the only one, so song -1, left -1 maybe. Yeah, I mean that one hopefully this one makes sense. It's just we put in the first song. Otherwise we have to put song. Oh, well, and then how do I force the first? This is so awkward. And then the idea here is that I mean, so here we the first. Okay, so then the idea here is that is that true? Sorry, I'm trying to think whether that idea is true before rephrasing it. But the thing that I'm trying to do is that we're trying to skip case slots before going. So it should be something like this, but it feels the way that I'm writing this is a little awkward for sure. And also now this one doesn't make sense actually. No? I think this one makes sense for left -1 for this is brute forcing the first possible song, but then now I'm not doing the recursion quite right. Also, I don't think this is this is song -1. And of course, if you're gonna put that, then this means that we don't really need to maybe like this or something like that, right? But I'm trying to think. Okay, so then now, how do you select the possibility of the other ones? So it's this plus the number of. I want to say something like this, but that's not even quite right because that ignoring the off by one aside, because I'm just my head's stuck on you. Now you're able to skip some stuff, right? Huh. Man, this one is hard. I feel like I'm in. But the thing that I'm trying to think is that okay, let's say we and maybe I'm doing this really weird, but let's say the first song is one, then now given k we're forced to block off these things, and that's how we get the suffix, right? But I mean, alternatively, maybe we can do the skipping. But maybe this is not the way I want to do it. Okay, let's say then now we have we have goes, right? And then now maybe we force the first where to put the first song, and then yeah. I think the tricky part with what I want to do is that we have to put the song at least once, right? You can't just skip the song. So you have to kind of enforce that, and that is a little bit tricky, maybe. But maybe I could just write. I was trying to avoid this, but sometimes like these, maybe you have to, or you can, um, write two functions, right? Instead of try to put everything in one function. And yeah, the way that I would think about that is, so this is maybe the function where we need to put song at least once, right? So then now we're trying to think of the first slot, right? Count. Naming things is hard. Including maybe, right? And then now maybe we brute force where to put the one for the first one, and we have to do it, right? So then now for I in range of there's only left songs, so yeah, it's just where to put the first one, and then now we do count, not including. So oh, is that what this? Oh yeah, that's fine. Basic now, if you put in the first slot, you're blocking out the first slot minus the first the so you have left minus one is the number of free slots, but then you also lose k minus one because that's the gap, right? Or just minus k, sorry, yeah. So it's something like this, right? And then here, this is optional, meaning that we same idea for count including, but we're not forced to pick this song maybe. And just to be clear, I don't know that I'm going the right direction. So but you're looking at someone who's actually working on this farm, if that helps. Basically, okay, we have left. So then now we're saying, okay, pick on the zero thing or not, right? So this is, So same idea. We have to make sure that this is, yeah, if left is 0 to 0, then we just return, if left is less than 0, then we return 0. Otherwise, if left is 0 0, then if song is equal to 0, then we return 1. Otherwise, we return 0 because we have songs left, so it's not a valid playlist. Yeah. Okay. This is not sufficient, right? So this is, so then we also want to add it to. Do we add or multiply? Count including of song minus 1. So now we pick a different song. Of left, and yeah, and I don't know that I'm so not confident about this. This is wrong for sure. I'll explain why in a second. This is wrong because I'm here. We're skipping. Like here we're skipping, right? So we cannot, like we put in the gaps, and here we don't use the gaps. So that's not quite right. Is it maybe something like this? And even that's not right, because now you're trying to make sure that you're counting all the lefts right. So this idea, I think, is just wrong. Yeah, this idea is wrong because we're separating these out as in two states, but we're not doing it quite well because basically we're not, like this part can use up like four songs on the playlist, and this part will know about it. I think maybe the trouble I'm having is that I'm missing a dimension. I'm trying to do it this way, but if I have a dimension of what so maybe the extra dimension is that we need a position, or something like this, where position is the current position to insert, something like that. All right, what does that mean if that's the case? I don't know that this is I don't know that this is good either, but man, this one's hard. I feel like I don't know. I don't know that makes sense. Maybe I have to think about it backwards. Let me think about it for a second. Let's say, okay, so let's say we have one song and go is equal to 1, then we have one song. And then if go is 2 and we have one song, what does that look like? Now I'm just trying to get an understanding of it. Go is 2, you have one song, so it just fills it out, right? So maybe that is one base case, but is that good enough? Okay, so Okay, let me think. I think I get it. Jeez. I think instead of this, because I think I fooled myself a little bit. I think I was thinking of another problem where you have to do something like this, and it makes it really hard. Because I vaguely have recollection that this problem was hard, and I think I just kind of psyched myself into it. Let's go back a little bit of. Okay, let's say we have, what's the first? Yeah, okay, I get it. How long have we spent? 26 minutes. All right, let's say yeah. So okay, so that's the first song by definition will be the first song. There really is no like for all purpose, whatever song you pick is going to be number one, right? So without loss of generalization, yeah, it's just going to be all one. And then the second song, it could be either 1-1 or 1-2 for a new song. So basically, I think now I remember. Okay, so then basically, when you have a new position, you ask, do I want to choose a song from the previous the, so we have two choices. We either choose a new song or a song that we have seen but not in the last K slots, because the definition here is that the last K slots are going to be distinct, right? I think that's the observation that I kind of missed in my building this DP, and it's kind of hard. Is that the last K slots on the playlist will be distinct. So this allows you to kind of not remember the last K as long as you kind of do it intelligently. And okay, so then here the idea is that, okay, well, then here we start with 0 songs on the previous. So here, this is hard. So song is the total number of songs we've seen or listened to so far, and left is the number of songs we have to populate left, right? And then here, so we have two choices, right? We either, or more than two choices. So okay, here we pick a new song, right? If possible, basically if song plus 1 is less than n, or is it less than or equal to? Let's just do this for now. Maybe I'm off by 1, right? Then total, then we pick the new song, and this means that we have a new song that we've listened to so far, and left -1, right? Okay. We pick a song we've already listened to. Oh, and here we pick a new song. This is a new song, but we have n minus song or something, or maybe something plus 1 to choose from, right? So it's gonna be something like this. So given 0, you have all n. So I think this is right. Maybe it's off by 1, but so yeah. Otherwise, if song minus K is greater than maybe greater than 0. Okay. Basically, here we have to pick a song we listen to, but not the last K songs, right? Because then otherwise you repeat. So yeah, so we have song minus K. I guess greater than 0, because otherwise if this is 0, then, and times count of, so the number of songs we haven't changed, and then left -1. I guess that's gonna be, this is so hard to come up with. If this is even right. I didn't do the memorization part, but or have a base case. Okay, so if left is equal to 0, then if song if we had played all the songs at least once, then we return 1, otherwise we return 0. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, we're gonna do the memorization part for sure. Um, eh, this took a while, and I think I kind of had a light bulb, but like light bulb moment where I'm like, oh wait, I could just kind of. This observation was the part that I kind of ignored, even though that's that I thought about it very briefly, but. Uh, Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. Other than that, I kind of wasted like 20 minutes of your time. So, yeah. But yeah, let's do the memorization. Well, song can obviously go from 0 to N, inclusive, and go. And go. Sorry, left can go from 0 to go. So yeah, so we can say has cash as usual. Is equal to do. I do get questions as to why I write it like this. I think it's just easier to see your space and time allocation. Feel free to if you feel like you already know what you're doing, feel free to write it however you like. And if you kind of see my contest code, you know that I write them in some particular ways anyway. But so this is just for teaching purposes. Yeah. Give it submit. This is a hard one, and this is so hard that like it's been like 4 years and I still have a vague recollection of this one, and yeah. I did this a different way last time, I guess. I mean, it's the same idea though, but maybe I just count down instead of count up or something. Do I even use choose? No, I end up not using this. I thought that I could probably do it. That's why this code looks confusing. But yeah, this one is a very hard one for sure. I think it's just about yeah. I mean, I think to be honest, these things. I mean, I said this on the last Q4 on the bi-weekly. Um, for me, how I came to this is because I just ran out of possibilities, right? Like if it wasn't someone like this, then I would have no idea what to do. I think that's maybe the honest answer. So I'm just trying a little in my head. I'm just trying everything, right? And we kind of talked about all the possibilities, not all the possibilities, but the possibilities I was considering. And how do you solve this? The idea is just me thinking, okay, if this is the case, can the other stuff, kind of match up and make sense, right? Meaning what I said, right? Like I was trying, okay, what if we just, brute force the first number and then kind of count the number of gaps and something like this, right? And then maybe, doing some weird way of counting, with gaps and stuff like that. I was trying that for a while. I even talked about how to brute forcing the first number, but I think the thing that I kind of, two things that I didn't really take advantage of, as I said, is that did I delete? Oh no, the last case down the playlist is distinct, so that actually makes it so that we don't have to worry about state as much because we don't have to care about which songs that we did in the last K, just not any song on the last K, which allows us to reduce the thing to this thing, right? Um, yeah, I do wonder because I think the other part that I was a little bit thing is kind of mixing the items into the same item, meaning picking a new song and then just be like, okay, this is the number of song that we've seen, versus if we have like the last song is three or something like this. Can we kind of simplify it that way or something, right? And that requires the state that we talked about, which is make it so tricky. Is that in this way by so this is one distinction, but the other thing is also that um, you can treat all songs, or you have to, in fact, as same, not the same item. That's not quite the right way to say it, but like the same, uh, like the same as in that. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I don't know that I can take it, but basically you have to treat this all the song the same in the way that they're like almost interchangeable in a way, versus because I think the idea that I was thinking of is, okay, maybe like you can think about song and love, and then maybe the last thing that we insert or something like this, right? And then the last song is the song one, song two, song three. And I think the thing I'm trying to say is that I think I have this idea of, okay, well, now you have n songs, let's label them one, two, three, four, five, dot 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 n, and then now let's put one of them into the first one and so forth. But the actual and but if we had say something like, okay, the first song is one, and then the first song is two, first song is three, dot dot dot, then actually for the k component, this k part, we have to think about, well, what's the last k until we could use the three again, instead of this other thing where we have to treat them like, I wouldn't say the same, but like I said, in a weird interchangeable way, so that, okay, well, look, this there's one song that we played before, but but it could be any of the n songs, right? Which is kind of a that's a tough dimension to figure out, and something that I don't know, maybe just get with more experience. But I think it's like a you have to have a strong, deep understanding of dynamic programming, and then kind of thinking, because this is almost like a derived dimension versus like a more direct dimension on the constraints that they give you. This is almost like a dimension board out of looking at the constraints and the observations of the problem, and then creating a dimension out of thin air almost, right? Which is kind of just hard. All right, it's been long. That's all I have. I need to get some food and all this good stuff. So yeah, stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye bye.